with us, they'd be arguing. It'd be an argument, and I don't want an argument.
Oh,
I want a conversation.
and then with having a hard stop at, at 8.
Exactly. All of that.
Yeah,
We're on. We're on.
yeah.
We're on. Right, for what? Girl, I'll be your shine. $1 million treasure. I give the world to make you mine. You was like and yeah, turn your sound down. Do you have YouTube on? Do you have the app open?
Do I? I do
Uh-huh.
not. I do not.
Trying to figure out where it's coming from. Where it's coming from. Why I'm getting it. And I'm trying to figure out why I'm getting an echo. Why it's not showing up on YouTube. Here we go. All right. Somebody's here with us. Good evening, everybody. You see, I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties. Who's in the chat? Hey, Ross. Hey, Venus. Every everything that could be going wrong tonight is going on. Somebody's here. Everything that could go wrong tonight, but we're gonna get it together. But we're there. We got to get to it because we're on a time constraint. Why is it? I'm scared. Uh, that's why I say it's weird. It's really weird. And I'm back.
Okay. Well, welcome back.
She said, okay.
Okay. Welcome back.
Oh my God. So I don't know. Were you hearing an echo?
I could hear a little bit of echo. Yeah, but not very much.
And it's there now.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
there
have anything else on. No TV, no tablets, no computers. I'm just on my phone.
No, it's me. It's me that I keep hearing for whatever reason. So we're gonna go
There is an
ahead and
echo. Yeah, I do hear it more than I did before. Yeah.
I'm not out a real bad one. Real bad one.
Yeah, it's even more so than it was before you left.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got folks with us too. I will have to. All right, let me try one more thing. You stay there. I'm gonna come back. Why
I'm
don't you
here.
start talking? Because they'll be able to see you. So you go ahead and start talking, and I'm gonna join. I'm gonna
I
come
don't
back.
even know what to say. Hey, everybody. Hey, y'all.
Tell them what we're
Well,
talking about.
welcome in. We are talking about providers and what has been on social media, the buzz on social media about men providing. And so I had posed the question to Dr. Kim about, providing and generosity. And so tonight will be a conversation framed around those topics. So this is a little weird because I can only see myself. So I feel like I'm talking to myself. But welcome in, everybody. And I hope that when she returns, she's able to resolve the issue with the echo, because I know how frustrating that can be. Um,
All
okay.
right, here.
Okay.
Just say, what did I miss? What
I'm
did you
like,
say, Tony?
I just said we were talking about provision and the buzz
Oh
on social
God.
media, provision and
Yes.
the conversation with, coupling that with generosity. And I said it
Yes.
was
Yes.
weird because I felt like I was talking to myself.
See, literally, literally.
Literally.
So tonight, you all seen the question. Let me pull up so I can see the chat now. Make sure are we all still here?
Did I
Yep,
hear, did
Tony
we
was
have
by
Venus?
herself. Poor thing. She was by herself.
I was alone.
We here now.
Did I hear you say we have Venus on the line?
Venus is there.
Hey, Venus.
Yep, Melissa's there,
Hey,
Ross is
Melissa.
there. So we got a fella. So let's
Hey,
get to it.
everybody.
What
Okay.
is a provider? So I picked this topic, and then I'll tell you why I picked my co-host for tonight, my guest host. But I picked this topic because as I'm scrolling social media, young women, old women are on here fussing about these men don't want to be providers. These men don't understand what it means to be a provider. You need to show me that you're a provider if you want me to choose you. And I think we've got a lot twisted about that. First of all, the attitude, right? Um, and those of you who follow, I didn't even say what we were. This is on the couch with Dr. Kim. I didn't welcome anybody or anything. But those of you who come here, right, and join me every Friday night, I'm pro man, I'm pro guy, right? I like guys, I like boys. So anything I'm saying is never to man bash. Um, but I'm also pro woman because I've been a girl my whole life. And so, sisters, some of you are on one out there fussing at the brothers about what they need to be doing to be a provider. So we need to talk about that. What does that mean? Where does that come from? Write these definitions. And what are we going to do about it? So I picked Toni Avery because of her eloquence, because of her class, because of her style. And her, just like myself, is usually able to see both sides.
Mm-hmm.
So again, she's a centrist at heart, where she can drill down kind of why people might be saying or doing the things that they're doing, non-judgmental, right? And also using the lens of her own lived experience. So, Tony, what do you want to say to the people before we dive in that you haven't already had a chance to say?
Oh, well, thank you for joining tonight. I think tonight is going to be an interesting conversation as we discuss, what provision looks like, through the lens of a woman, and then what the buzz is on the social platforms about, you need to be doing this for me in order for me to choose you and all of these things. And so, but I will say that my perspective is, not governed to be the perspective, but it's just the way I live my life. And
There you go.
and it's the way I was educated, what I grew up around, what I saw growing up, and how I, you know, journey through this life. So I do look forward to the conversation. I do look forward to learning what the perspectives are. And yeah, so I think it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good
Okay,
time.
that's what we're here for.
It's gonna be a
And
good
like you
time.
said, always learning, always learning.
Always
And
learning.
when I get to the part where it's what Dr. Kim believes, I'm always going to give that disclaimer,
Right.
right? Say
Right.
this just Kim.
Right. Right.
This is what I'm
Right.
on. But
Right.
a lot of this started about 15 years or so ago when Steve Harvey came out with his book, Act Like a Man, Think Like No, Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Million seller. When I went back and researched it for tonight, it has been translated into 14 languages.
Wow.
So when we talk about mindsets, right? Traveling not just through social media. Here's a book. 2011, the book came out, and everybody, oh, Steve Harvey. Now, some people are like, why in the world would you trust anything that Steve Harvey says when he's been married 3 times? And I'm from the school of thought, I want to hear from somebody who's done it and learned. So
Yeah.
it may have taken him to that third time to get it right. But like I say here, he's been a man all his life. And
Yeah.
so there's some merit in what he is saying. But
Yeah. I agree.
yeah, so that's where we started first hearing about the 90-day rule. So you can't give up the cookie for 90 days,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And then right along with that were the 3 P's, and one of those is our topic tonight. He said, a quality man, ladies, a quality man is one that's going to protect, one that's going to provide, and one that's going to profess his love for you or his position in his life. And that's one I definitely had to learn, right? Because from let's say my generation, boy meets girl, girl meets boy, and we're together. So that was news to me that somebody had to tell you that they're you're their girl. I'm like, well, hell, we together all the time. Who else you gonna be with? Anybody you want to until you say that you
Yeah.
want me to be your woman.
Pretty
So
much.
with that provision, that is the one that everybody is on right now. And the definition on the street is that a provider is the one who finances everything.
He supplies the
He
need. Yeah.
pays, he pays,
Yeah.
and you just sit there and receive without question. He foots the bill and throws money at all your desires. And so, for those of you who may be listening, if that's your mindset, I want you to listen real closely because we have some things that we want you to think about. Now, we know historically, men have contributed the majority, if not all of the household finances, because in generations past, many women didn't work outside the home, or if they did, they earned a whole lot less than the men, right? And so, also, women's primary responsibility was to what? Produce children, raise those children, and care for the home. So, this man worked outside of the home, the woman worked inside of the home. And for me, contrary to popular belief, that's the life I wanted to live, right? I wanted to be stay-at-home mom. Nobody believes that. I wanted to have four, right? Stay at home, take care of my man, take care of the home. And that didn't happen except for the summers, right? So I got to kind of live that out during the summers when I was married, and that kind of satisfied that to a certain degree. But for today, and I would say even the past maybe two generations, that's been very difficult for people to do, even if they wanted to. The average couple needs two incomes, two full incomes, two full contributors to hold a household together. But if a man decided he wanted to, and there's some brothers that I've talked to that don't have a problem with that, taking care of a woman. In fact, I could name two men in particular that pursued me that were looking for a wife, and their message to me was, I did not have to work if we got married. They could more than provide for me financially, and I could sit down somewhere. Now, those of you who know I work like a Hebrew and then some, that's very attractive. You mean what? You can do whatever it is you want. You could just focus on, at the time it was Friday Night Live with Dr. Kim. You could just do that. Do your complete suite. Are you serious? Where's the love involved? I didn't have that kind of love. So what I'm saying is there are some men that um want to do that. The problem is this list that I'm about to go through. Are you all with me? Ross said, what kind of rule is that at our age 90 days? First of all, what the conclusion we're going to come to, even with this, is there really shouldn't be any rules. We need to come away from rules, right? And we need to deal with each other on an individual basis. But here's the thing they're talking about on the internet. You all holler at me. Hello, if you just came in. A man should pay for the first date. Now, you know, it's 1,000 posts about that. A man should pay for the first date. Because if you pay for the first date, what? You're showing me that you know how to be a provider.
And that's not necessarily true.
No, it's not.
Mm.
No, it's not at all. And I've seen some women get upset. I want to hear from you, Tony. One of the posts that I see over and over again about this is women getting upset if the man uses a coupon on the date. So if we're sitting there in a restaurant and he pulls out whatever, it's a buy one, get one free, $20 off, you gonna get upset over that. What's your thought about that?
I
First
think,
date, first date.
you know, I think at this age, at this big age, I think it depends on your sense of humor. I'd probably
Okay.
laugh at it. I probably would laugh at it and we're gonna have a good time. I don't think that him using a coupon subtracts from him being a good man. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't. I think it is. I don't think it subtracts from him being a good man. I don't think it subtracts from him being the kind of man that I might be interested in. But I think it depends on if your sense of humor. I like to laugh, so I'm probably gonna laugh at it. And then we're gonna
Okay.
sit there and we're gonna eat and we're gonna have a good time. But
Okay.
what rule says, and I know you said something about we have to get away from the rules, but
We
where
do.
does it say that the first date can't be, a walk in a conversation? Why can't the first
That
date
part.
be, they got coffee shops on every block. Why
Okay.
can't the first date be a cup of coffee or whatever your beverage choice is? I think that, just because a man takes you to this extravagant restaurant and you have this delicious meal does not mean that he's a good man. That just means that he is able to supply a need that night.
I was gonna
So
say that night. Okay.
that night he's able to supply a need. I mean, he probably saved up a couple coins and he's able to take you out. But first of all, it's a lot of distractions that come when you start talking about this date night in a restaurant and him spending all this money. That doesn't mean he may go out and spend $400 or $500 on you at this restaurant. That does not mean that he's a good man for you. That doesn't mean that. You might go out with somebody who takes you on a walk. Let me tell you, and I'm gonna say this, and it's falls right in line with this conversation. I will never
Okay.
forget one of the best dates I ever had. One of the best dates I ever had. Went on a date with a guy. He went and we got, at the time I was eating pork. went and got a bucket of rib tips
Mm-hmm.
and a Pepsi. And we
Okay.
sat at Buckingham Fountain in the cold,
Yeah.
freezing, had a ball. One of the
Yep.
best dates I've ever had. And it didn't cost very much, but it was one
Right.
of the best dates. I think that we get it confused. Like the more money he spends, the better the date's gonna be. That's not true.
But
That
did
is
he pay for
absolutely
the rib tips?
he did pay for the rib tips, but
Just want to know who
his
paid.
here's the thing though. He paid for the rib tips, but I drove.
Okay.
And we had a great time.
There it
But
is.
I think, in my younger years, I probably would have thought a little bit different when it comes to my perspective on what it looks like framing what a good man is.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
this age, it's different. I
Yeah.
mean, you taking me to a fabulous restaurant on the first date does not mean that I am so giddy that I miss all these flags. It's a lot
That
of
part.
flags that come
Or
with
like
that.
you said, or that's indicative of again your ability to take care of me. I'm gonna tell you the truth, and then we're gonna move on to the next one because we gotta meet our curfew. Um, for me, pulling out that coupon shows me your husband material.
Do you understand me?
I said, oh,
Do you understand?
he knows how to ball on a budget.
He knows how to get down
Okay.
on a budget.
All right, boo, I see you.
But would we
Wouldn't
have
bother me at
considered
all.
that? But would we have considered that being this
Oh,
man knows how to?
in my 20s or 30s, I might have been embarrassed. I might have been embarrassed. What the
Right,
hell? You're a coupon, you know.
right.
But now I would be like, and in this economy, I mean, look, well, can we double the coupon? Because I got one on my phone.
I mean,
Here's
eggs are $75 a
here's a
carton.
QR code. Wait a minute. Here's a QR
So
code. We can add to that. But
yeah,
most definitely, I still like a man to pay. You pull out the coupon, it's not a problem. Like you said, where we go, whether it's like I said, Applebee's, for me, at this point, it's a coffee date, first of all, for both of us,
yeah,
for money and for time. Because if the chemistry isn't there, we can sip this cup. Hey, I need to run some errands, but it's been great meeting up with you. I'm
yeah,
not sure there's a match here, but this
yeah,
was a great conversation. Bye.
yeah.
And it'd take $100 to figure that out. But
Absolutely.
a coupon. But these girls, and I'm saying there's some old ones too. Oh, you taking me to Cheesecake Factory? Like that's an insult. You're not taking me to Ruth Chris. You're not taking me to Prime. All it's crazy. A man should pay for your personal preparation for the date. I'm
No,
seeing a lot of that. Well, if
no,
he wants to take me out and he didn't even offer to get my nails done, he didn't offer for my hair, he didn't offer. Are you serious? Well,
no.
what
I
were
don't.
you
I don't.
doing
I
two
don't.
days
I
ago?
disagree with that. I disagree with it.
And again, and Melissa, but I got some Melissa in the studio audience. Hey, Melissa. Melissa said when I was going over my notes, are you talking about a husband? Or are you talking about a boyfriend? I said, I'm talking about boyfriends, not even boo status. And these girls are like, you want my time and you want my attention. This is what it requires. I'm like, oh my God. And then
But
you
you,
wonder why people do.
but you
Go
want
ahead,
his
Tony.
time. You want his time and his attention
Oh
too.
no, because I'm the prize,
And
right?
not that we are not that we are not, but I think that we are being. I think that it, and I'm not saying we. I think it's being unrealistic to expect him to do all these things to take you out on a date, and you haven't even established or defined what this situation is, what this relationship is, and who was doing your hair and doing all these things and this maintenance on you before you met him.
Right on all those selfies that you posted. This,
Yeah.
so who is your stylist then?
Who is your stylist? I think that's unrealistic. I
Personally,
think,
I think it's hoish.
yeah,
To be
well,
honest,
I ain't gonna
I
say
think it's
that, but yeah,
hoish. It is. So
it's,
you
yeah,
need to stack this much money to have access to me. That's transactional and that's hoish.
it is transactional, very much so.
Now, again, a husband and our anybody who's watching this, and I've talked about both of my husbands, one who's deceased, God bless his soul, and the one that, yeah. Anyway,
I think it's unreal. I think it is transactional, and I
well, hold
think
on.
it's, yeah.
Let me tell you the story. Why I'm saying those things can happen But the problem is the should. When I tell you that man before he passed should have wrote a book about how to get and please a woman. I lived all of these some of these posts I've seen where I came in the house, dress on the bed, be ready at 7. Okay. He was talking about Johnny Gill in the red dress before Johnny Gill sang the song. He was my mind in the 80s. Okay. But that was a husband.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what he didn't do. He was allergic to paying bills. Do you hear what I'm saying? The
Who I
best
wasn't ready
dates
for
of
that one.
my life, the best dates of my life, them limousine picked me up, took me all the way to the Goodman Theater. Oh my God, we went to Bennigan's afterwards. Y'all remember when Bennigan's was the stuff? Went to Bennigan's afterward in the outfit that he had laid out on the bed for me, lingerie and everything. Came home to the dark. Wasn't
I
no
wasn't
lights on.
I was
Now,
not ready for that.
21, 20, was I 21? Had to been 21 because Chris wasn't born yet. Okay. That's well, baby, you know, we don't need no lights anyway. Purr. We're
It's
worried
in the
about
dark.
paying an electric bill tomorrow. Another time, it was another date. I can't quite remember what happened leading up to that date, but it was amazing, right? Because he was good. He was creative like that. Came back to a 5-day notice on the door. This all the first year of marriage. I'm like, oh my God. So, like you said, these signs. So for me, all of this extravagance,
Mhm.
definitely not impressive because I might find out at some point, like you said, that you were saving, that you went in your piggy bank to take us downtown.
So you
I
was
don't need
full and
that in my
evicted,
life.
huh?
Yeah, you pull out that coupon. That's sexy. Okay. A man should be paying your bills, especially the ones you're struggling with. I've seen that these women are like, I said a couple of times I was putting my car in the shop and he didn't even offer to get my car fixed. He ain't no type of provider. Thoughts? He's supposed to pay your bills, especially the ones you're struggling with.
Okay, so when you say
Ross wasn't
this,
Ross that allergic. He was. That boy ain't like pay no bills.
I was
Anyway, go
tickled
ahead.
because you said we went out of there and you come home to a 5-day notice, so you full and evicted, stomach full,
Yes.
but you on your way out the house.
And that was
Uh,
after the electricity. So you see there was a yeah.
I, I
Ticket prices kept getting higher.
I'm interested in, okay, I'm interested in this man paying these bills. Now, let me say this. Okay, I'm single
Mhm.
now, and
You single for
I'm
the
single,
audience.
single. I'm
She's
single.
single,
I'm
single, you
single,
are with her pretty self.
and
Pass the
thank
word.
you, thank you. And I've been doing it a minute alone, so I'm not turning down if you want to come and help out. However, comma,
Uh-huh.
I'm not. My conversation is not. Hey, can you pay my bills? We
That part.
where's the definition of the relationship? Where we at? Where we at in this relationship? I mean, now, do I want a man to see a need and feel the need? Absolutely. I think if we showing up in each other's lives, right, and we are participating in a relationship and we call it a relationship and we really vibing with each other. We are in this thing together. I want you to see the need and I want you to feel it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But my requirement with me getting to know you is not you coming in and paying my car note, my insurance. That's not. I think that's just unrealistic. Now,
Yeah,
I'm not saying. Now, trust me. I know that there will be argument and there will be debate about it. I'm not saying that a man should not help. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. But I think it depends on where we are, the stage of this relationship. You cannot
absolutely.
expect somebody to come in and you've been knowing them for 2 months and now you want him to pay your mortgage up for 6 years.
And
That's
that's what these men are complaining about. They're saying that women are literally, after one date or two, feeling like they can, number one, ask, and he should say yes, or I shouldn't have to ask, he should have offered. And you notice what all of it is should. And I have a problem. And like you said, at a certain point, so again, now let me give credit to my second husband. Excellent. provider financially. And he showed me that early on. I remember now this is me telling some bad stories about myself, but I like to keep it honest, I like to keep it real. He was visiting me, and one day he said to me, I'm waiting for Ross with the golden rule in the chat. Come on, Ross. Um, he came and he visited me and he gave me a C note. It's like, what's this for? He's like, for your electric bill. Do you see a common thread here with the utilities? But anyway, so
I
now it
do.
was my turn. And I said, for what do you mean? And he was like, so you could go pay your bill. And I was like, no, I'm good. And he's like, obviously you're not. He said, because I've seen it go from pink to red. As he was visiting me. Now I'm a single mom, right? I got a little bit of an excuse. But I was like, wow. Now, we had only been dating a couple of months. But again, I turned it down. I said, no, I don't want you to do that. I'm gonna pay it. I plan on paying it, Wednesday, whatever it was. And he said, I want you to go ahead and take care of it today. He said, because I can't come over here and see you in the dark.
I like
Her,
that. I like that. I
her.
like that.
And he was that dude all while we were married. There was nothing I wanted, needed that he didn't provide without me asking. But again, he decided that. But me saying to him, "Don't you see? Don't you see this? And all I'm doing for you," it wouldn't even have occurred to me. But this is what I'm seeing on social media. These girls
Yeah.
are actually dogging out these men because they're not offering to pay bills, and they're not even in a committed relationship, because the women are saying, you need to prove to me what you are able to do for me. If I'm going to choose you among all the other men I have to choose from, then you need to step up your game. And ladies, you're missing some great men by putting up some
Yeah.
impossible and some really crazy requests, again, very early on. Wait, what did Ross say? When you're dating, hold on, I need to see this. When you're dating a man, ask him how long has he lived by himself. That's when you know he's financially literate. If he lived by himself for over a year, that's a green flag. And I would venture to say, I would hear. Toast to Ross Swine over there in Baltimore. Be more in the house.
Oh
If he
yeah.
never lived by himself, proceed with caution. And that's the truth. And I know some men in their 60s who have never had a lease in their name. And I will not name names. But there's some folks, unfortunately, in my family. Okay. No, they have never had a lease in their name. Never lived on their own. It's always been a woman, right? A woman's place, a woman's home, or
Yeah.
something they got
Yeah.
together. And you're right. That is a red flag. But if he lives on his own, and watch this. This is the other thing. Where's the other one? His man should have more money than you. He should have a certain type of home and a car to show his ability. No, he shouldn't. Let me tell you something. What he's saying is true. To me, again, that's impressive to see a man. He said, "Look, I'm in a one-bedroom apartment, one-bedroom condo, maybe two. If he has his office in there. What does he have a whole house for? If it's just him." I'm just saying, for me, that's not a red flag. But I know a lot of women, he living in this teeny tiny apartment. I got a whole house and blah blah. Okay, why do you have a whole house? Does that make financial sense for you to have a whole house if it's just you? Were you close to paying your house off? I mean, does that make sense? Right? Do you need that space because maybe you want grandkids to come stay or whatever? I'm just saying we need to ask questions, but to automatically rush to conclusions that, girl, he got this little itty bitty apartment, he stay over around the way, blah, blah. Girl, please, what I want to be with him for? I got a whole house. I had this and this and this.
The size
And
of
what
his the size of his place doesn't equate to success.
I'm telling you, to
And
these people
and
out here, but go ahead, talk.
yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, he could live in a one bedroom apartment and his bank account is stellar. And just
That part.
because, I think, when we start talking about men having money, and being a provider. So there is a definition of saying a provider is the one who sees and fits the need, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily the want. So he may be
Mm-hmm.
providing for you, but if he's not generous, you want someone to be generous but balanced, so that he's able
Oh,
to say, okay, this, I want you to have this. This is, you want this. I want you to have it. So he's generous with his giving. He's providing. See, I think when you start talking about provision and generosity, I want them to marry one another.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want them to be absent of one another, but I want the generosity to be balanced, because if he's too generous, then that could put us in a hole, right? That could put us in a deficit. But I
Or
think
I'm gonna come back to it. Keep going.
but I think that sometimes when you say, I think, in many ways, social platforms have ruined our ways of thinking realistically. Does a big house necessarily mean I'm a success? No, it doesn't mean that. And who you trying to impress? Because you got 5 bedrooms. That's just a lot of house to clean. If you by yourself, can you really live in a 5 bedroom house? No, no, you cannot.
That
You
part.
you got to clean it. First of all,
Could
that's
just
just too
make you
much.
more in more debt.
You
Or like I
or
said, people play so much. I know somebody who dated a woman and he was always dropping her off at the house. Beautiful house, not too far from me. Beautiful house. He'll drop her off. My God. And you see pictures of her in the house. He was never in the house. Come to find out, she didn't live there. It wasn't even her house. But she was trying to impress him. Another
no,
guy, same thing happened to him, found out it was not her house. She was renting the house. But she had him thinking, which again, nothing wrong with renting a house.
no,
Okay. But she had given the impression this was her house and that she was living a certain way. Showboating. So I'm saying
yeah,
what men, women all do that, showing up as the representative. And that to me is what scares me when I see people throwing a whole bunch of money at the beginning of a relationship. I'm wondering how much of that is real. And I'm also wondering how much of that is you attempting to control me.
there is that. There is that.
Because now I can
Yeah,
throw in your face all that I've done for you.
yeah.
So there's certain things you're not going to say no to me about. Some of it may be physical and sexual, and some of it just may be your time. And I've seen that. Wait a minute, you got me paying this, this, and that, and you gonna tell me you don't have time to see me? You're telling me you out with your friends and this. Oh, what's up? Oh,
I,
think about that the next time you need a bill paid. Oh, so you were paying the bills now to keep the puppet strings on me.
well,
It
I
was
think
not
we got to be careful.
generosity. It was
Yeah,
not generosity. It was control.
you got to be careful that provision doesn't slip into abuse, because it can.
Exactly. It can.
He can.
Both,
It
like I said,
can.
both ways.
It,
Both
it
ways.
can. It can
Both
slip
ways.
right into abuse and manipulation.
Yep.
Because I'm providing for you. I'm giving you all the things that providing for you, and I'm giving you these things that that.
Hmm.
But now I can tell you where to go, when to go, and who to go with.
Exactly.
And
And
now,
will.
yeah, and
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 will.
will, and
Look at
so it
this
slips,
man.
right into abuse and into manipulation. And not
Yeah.
just from the perspective of a man being abusive. Sometimes I think, it's not that women are absent of being abusive. They can be manipulators. But I think we have to be
Absolutely.
careful that the balance is that we balance in a relationship. And so I'm not against a man doing all these great things for you. But I
Absolutely
think
not.
we have to have definition of what the relationship looks like. What does it mean for you to be if you pay my bills, are you laying up over here every day? I mean, what define let's talk about, let's put it on the table. Let's talk about what the relationship looks like. I think the generations that are before me, generations that I saw coming up, my mom's generation and my aunt's generation and all those people who were in my family, I saw what hard work looked like. And so that's what I'm accustomed to. I mean,
Mhm.
I can't say that I was the one that said, okay, I want to be at home and I'm gonna take care of the kids at the house. I'm an outside person. I like to be outside.
Okay.
And not this new phrase of we outside. I just
Be
like
outside.
I don't like I don't want to sit in the house. I just
Okay.
don't want to do
Okay.
that. But I
Okay.
but I've always been the one that wanted to work, and I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to be able to have my own. but that's how I was raised. And so
Okay.
I think, and then even because it's so deep in my DNA, that's just who I am. So
Hmm.
when I see and I'm not knocking anybody that wants to do it. I mean, do your thing, be whoever you want
Hmm.
to be. But to have these unrealistic expectations of what men
Out the
should do
gate.
and out the gate and how you choose them,
Out the gate.
that's
Out the
crazy
gate.
to me.
And let me tell you something else. And I've had men tell me this, and women don't believe it. Now, Ross is the only guy I see in the chat, so he can confirm or deny this. And I hope YouTube doesn't. I'm trying to phrase this so YouTube doesn't doesn't
Ban you.
block me. A cookie is a cookie unless there's feelings involved. So women, and I'm seeing this a lot again, social media think if I put it on him a certain way, he's gonna continue to write these checks, swipe the card, send me the cash out, whatever. If I hit it a certain way, he's gonna be glad to make it rain for me. And the
Okay.
brothers have told me it means nothing to them. You can sex them all you want to. If the feelings are not there, if that man does not have an emotional attachment to you,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just ass.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
all.
That's
And again,
true.
go back to my previous comment about it being hoishness. It's transactional. Now, if that's
Yeah.
what you're on,
Do your
you
thing.
know that. Because
Do
I've
your
always said
thing.
if you're gonna be a hoe, be a good hoe.
Yeah.
Do it right.
I
My studio
mean,
audience is falling down. I think she gonna faint. Hold on, sis, don't faint. Okay. If
if that's where
but
you want to
don't
go.
get upset when it's like, wait, we don't I don't feel like he's connecting to me or he don't want to take me around his family. Why would he? You the hoe that he takes care of. You the hoe that he writes checks for. You're the one that he sexes. You're the one that does those things. But just because you've done those things does not mean that man has any feelings for you. He can call your name, he can call Jesus, he can call all the ancestors. Okay.
He can call the Lord.
I'm just saying. And the brother said exactly.
If a
So
man
stop
wants you,
thinking
he
you can
wants
twirl
you.
it, spin
Yeah.
it, all of that
Yeah.
different than somebody else. Most men, especially hell, at this age, at this in this generation, maybe even past 25, it ain't too many things they haven't had done to them. You're not doing
It-
nothing new.
yeah, that 30 and under, they different. That 40 and under, they different.
No, I'm telling you, 25. I teach college.
I,
So I'm telling you, I've heard some things that curl my hair, straightened it, and curled it back. I was like, you did that? What? I think I was 55. Wait a minute, some of
yeah,
that stuff I ain't done yet,
they
but they
different.
know all about it.
They
But my
different.
point is, if it's transactional, so make up your mind what it is you want to be. But you can't be that and think it's just that and then expect this man to want to be all of these other things for you. It's not gonna work. And it's not necessarily the 90 days. So I'm not saying that you have to let so much time pass before you sexually engage with somebody. But definitely I will agree with Steve Harvey. If that man has not told you who you are to him, don't assume because he's swiping his card, because he's zelling you and cash apping you, and because he's showing up every weekend that you're that girl. That means nothing.
It does
That
not mean
means
a
nothing.
thing.
That means
And
nothing.
ask the right
So
questions. When did we stop asking the right questions? When did we get to the place where it was safe to make the assumption that this man, just because he's doing this is what we are? That's not necessarily true. And
some
just
of
who,
that is going back to what we said earlier. Some of that
yeah,
is what we were taught. Now, I'm gonna be honest. Some
yeah,
of that is what we were taught.
but
This is
not
what a man
nowadays. Like
does if
you
he's
need to
serious
ask.
about you.
Yeah, but they
And
could.
I found out that ain't the case,
Oh,
right?
it's okay to ask the right questions and ask the right
You need
questions at the
to
right time. You
at the
need
right
to
time.
at the right time. You need
At
to.
the
You
right
should.
time.
Because
At the
what
right
if
time.
you thinking that you dating this man and he got he got a whole wife and a whole nother family.
Oh God, that happens a lot.
And he's providing for you. But
Yeah.
he's taking care because he's established enough where he can take care of two homes.
And some folks are okay with that.
And some people are okay with that. Me, however, let me just be clear on this World Wide Web. I am not. Okay. I want you to be single.
And like I said, I don't judge, but what's bothering me is the women who are going about it that way and then getting upset with the men
Yeah. Yeah.
because again, they're not claiming them to use the language of the streets. They're not claiming them. And it's like, no. So let's flip it a little bit in the
Okay.
little bit of time we have left. So as you just heard Tony say, we really need to be about asking some questions. We need to go beyond assumptions and beyond these three. How many reels have you seen? If a man does these three things, if a woman says three, or these are the five things a woman needs, we need to get off of these lists and start trying to figure out each other, right?
Yeah.
On a one-on-one
Absolutely.
basis. But let me
Absolutely.
ask this. If a man does pay for everything, as Tony said, is he a provider or is he just being generous? Maybe that's his love language, right? That's one of the love languages, right? Giving and receiving gifts. Is he providing everything financially, as I said earlier, to control the relationship? Is he providing a representative? Because women talk a lot too.
Yeah.
I want a man who does this, and that. So, okay, brother say, I'm going to go do this, and that to get you. Because that's what you said you want. I never said that's how I roll, but you said that's what it is you want. Instead
Yeah.
of us letting that person show up as who they are, we write out the script and then somebody follows it, then you get upset because you find out that's not really him. Or is the man doing that out of duress? Well, if you do this, then, maybe you could be my man. Maybe I would go out with you. And now that's an insecure man that follows that. Let me say
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But I've seen some men say, she told me if I did this, then she would. And I really wanted her. And I heard you talk about earlier the manipulation, so it's real. So here's the teaching part. You all know the teacher and me. I got to teach you something before we go. We got exactly 10 minutes to do this. So when I looked up the word provide, the etymology of the word blew my mind. Early 15th century derives from the word providen, which means make provision for the future. A provider arranges, plans, takes care of, relieves of needs, supplies of needs.
Yeah.
From the Latin providere, it means to look ahead, prepare, supply again, and this is the one that got me, act with foresight. The pro part of the word means ahead. Videre means to see. Providing again, act or condition of providing, the doublet purvey, yada yada. So from that definition, here's the things that a provider actually does do. He's a problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
If you meet a man that solves problems, could be financial, but it's not necessarily the case. And most of the good guys I've met, if you tell them something, which is part of the communication, sometimes I don't need you to solve the problem. I just need you to listen. But a
Mm-hmm.
good man who's a provider at heart doesn't want to see you suffer. So if you're
That's
complaining
true.
about work, you complain about these badass kids that you had, you complain about your family, your in-laws. He's like, well, look, babe. Well, look, maybe you should. He's gonna try to help you solve that
That's
problem
true. That's
because
true.
he wants to relieve you
Yeah.
of that stress. He plans things. A provider plans. So those of you who are wondering why it's Friday night and you don't know if you're gonna see him this weekend, he ain't a provider, boo. Because a man who's a provider and wants to provide for you, he's gonna plan to see you.
Yes,
He
he
doesn't want to
is.
see a weekend pass that he has not planned to make time with you. He looks ahead. He prepares.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what a provider does. Same thing we were talking about these $500 dates. 9 out of 10, a dude who's doing that, he hasn't thought about it. He got paid that day. He got paid. And I've seen some men who have said this, which again for me is a red flag. Well, I really want to see you. Okay, so when you want to get together? Well, I get paid next week. Red freaking flag. We can't go for a hamburger till you get paid. Now, I'm not saying things don't get tight over here because they do. But say I can't plan a date until I get paid. I am 58 years old. We are not on a college campus. I'm not meeting you at your dorm. We're not on a food plan. Stop it. Next, he's responsible and dependable. If he says he's going to be there, he's there. That's what a provider does. If he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it.
Does it? Yeah.
5-year guy, I'll give him his credit. You know, I'll be telling all my business on here. But one thing I'll give him credit for, that's probably the most dependable mofo I've ever met in my life. He said, baby, all I got is my word and my balls, and I ain't trying to break either one. And he never did. I'm gonna get put off YouTube tonight. Anyway, he leads without
Talking
controlling.
about balls, you are.
That's what he said. It's not my words. That was a quote.
They talk about far worse. Okay, you should be.
That's what he said. That's what he said. He leads without controlling. Some women don't like them. I don't need no man to be my leader. Yes, you do, because a leader makes decisions. A leader makes plans. A leader doesn't keep you guessing. Right?
As a woman, if you lead long enough, you do want somebody to lead. Come on, lead.
I promise you.
Lead.
I promise you. Anybody want to be a leader?
I did it already. Lead. Please lead.
DM me. You can find me on Facebook, On the Couch with Dr. Kim, or Kimberly A. King. Okay? Kimberly A. King. All right. Anyway, he's realistically frugal. He knows how to balance fun and the future.
Balance.
So he may tell you, not this week, planner, looking ahead. But baby, if that's where you want to go, I'm going to make it happen. But we can't do that right now because I'm trying to establish this. He's looking to the future.
Yeah.
He's looking to the future. Here's another one. These women who, oh my God, I got flued out. He flew me out, blah, blah, blah. Or he couldn't flew me out. Do you know what the flights are now? And again, and I'm not saying this in the brothers Vincent, I'm not saying a man should not expect something from you, but I'm sorry. I'm dropping $1,000 for a first date to flew you out. I don't know. I don't think a handshake or church hug is gonna do. Let
me tell you something.
Let me finish my list. Go ahead, talk. They're not gonna like me. All the women gonna leave my group tonight. But anyway, go ahead.
No, but we not. It's not that we are. First of all, we're not bashing how women, our generation or after us. We are not bashing how you get down, how you get down. But when you start trying to put what you do and give it to somebody else and make that what you expect them to do, I think
that part
is just that's not cool.
It's the should. It's the should.
Well, why you not? That's not me. I don't.
You a scrub. I don't get down with scrub.
Yeah,
going right back to TLC. You know.
Listen, I have fallen out with somebody, a family member, about allowing somebody to be a sugar daddy. I said, I don't want him. I don't even want to see this man naked.
Oh my!
So I think if I use him in that way, then I'm gonna have to at some point see him naked. I don't want to see this man naked, and he's 162 years old. I don't want that. I don't want that. But I think
this one man, I couldn't even watch him chew his food. I thought I was in the home.
Because I don't want it.
I'm like, oh, his denture's about to come out. Jesus help.
I don't want it.
but could have had all my bills paid. Sweet Pea would be having everything right now. I couldn't do it. It's called
I
ethics.
couldn't,
But let me
it's just,
say
I
this
couldn't
before
do it.
somebody comes back on me. I've gotten flued out, as they say. I've gotten flued out, but that wasn't on the table because they were gentlemen. Okay? So before anybody comes for me, yeah, they got flued out, put up in a hotel, everything. No expenses. To meet them for the first time. And it went well. It was beautiful. Okay. I done got Amtraked out too. But anyway,
Hey,
you know,
Amtrak is a good time now, okay?
I'm
Don't.
trying to tell you. But and that's a whole romantic story I'll tell another day. But I don't expect that. That's not an expectation. That was
Yeah,
situational,
yeah.
right? And that was up to that person. But I'm talking about these broads, and I do mean broads. I had to he couldn't even flew me. Oh, Lord, he prioritizes your needs. We got 2 minutes left. He prioritizes your needs. So again, getting back to that flued out. He may want to jump your bones. You get off that plane. He said, but look, she needs to feel safe before we go there. He's gonna do that. He's gonna honor that.
Look, let me feel safe. Let
That's a
me feel,
provider.
let me feel safe.
He ain't gonna have you in the dark with no lights on.
Let my
I'm
nervous
sorry.
system be calm.
That's his hard. That
Let my
speaks to your character not taking advantage of men. Thank you, Venus. We try not to.
let my
Okay.
nervous system be calm. Okay?
Please. That's a need,
That's
right?
a
And
need.
he's going to prioritize that above his
That is a
own
need. That's
feelings
a
and
real
everything else.
need. That's a
He's
real need.
emotionally steady and even tempered.
See,
And that's at the top of my list. When I tell you, when I went back and looked at my list in
what he had tonight?
2020,
What he had tonight?
girl, bye. I'm getting, I don't know. I
Where's he
might
at
find, I
tonight?
might find him where I'm going at this event.
You
If you're
might.
headed to if you're headed to an event in Country Club Hills, come and holler at me. But listen, he's emotionally steady and even tempered. That's at the top of my list.
Yeah,
Kindness. Literally,
yeah.
when I have men send me a friend request, I look at his eyes and I look at his smile. Do you look kind? See, now I used to go for the sexy boy. I'm like, oh Lord. If my toes get to curling when I look at a man's picture, I'll be like, nope. But if I look at him and I'm just being honest, Tony, because that's trouble.
It's. I
That's
get it.
trouble. But
I
that's
get
my
it.
that's my kryptonite boy. A sexy motherfucker. You
Oh
go, I'm like,
yeah.
okay, I
Oh
see
yeah.
you. No,
They had to be sexy, but
I
now
gotta do I gotta do kindness. If I see kindness in your eyes and your smile, then I can accept that friend request and engage in a conversation with you. So a provider is emotionally steady and even tempered. You don't have to worry about him snapping off when you bring something to him. You know what you're gonna get. It's not
yeah,
playing Russian
yeah,
roulette.
yeah,
All right, let me hurry up because we gotta go. He's confident, he's self-assured, he's not insecure, he's not waiting for you to tell him certain things to make him act a certain way.
yeah.
He needs your love, loyalty, and support. So again, I don't ever hear these women talking about what you want him to write these checks and do all these things. What are you doing for him? Most of these good guys, they're like, if I just felt like she believed in me, if I felt like she was there for me, if I
Support
felt
it.
like I could lean into
Yeah,
her,
yeah. Support is a
they
big
they
thing.
they're not totaling up the bill. They just want something in return, and what they want in return is to be considered.
Yeah, that's
They don't want
huge.
to be treated like an
That's
ATM.
huge.
They don't want to be treated like the solution to a problem. They don't want to function as Santa Claus. They don't want to show up as your sugar daddy, not a provider. I'm not saying that there's some that don't want, because I got some again. You show, I'm show. Okay. But the providers, okay, who want a relationship, they're not going to deal with the purely transactional. So at the end of the day, if you're honest about yourself, if you really want loving over using, if you want realistic over fantasy, if you want sustainable over satisfying right now, then negotiate what works for you. Now you heard what Tony says, right? She's I'd rather have the time with you than this expensive dinner. I'm like, I'm cool with the time, the quality time, or the expensive dinner. Yes, I expect for you to pay. I do. I'm still old school. I expect for you to pay. But I guarantee you, I don't mind taking you to dinner too.
Right.
You
Right.
take me to dinner, I'm gonna pay the tip.
Right.
If you don't allow me to pay the tip, I'm gonna buy the next round of drinks. I'm gonna do something to reciprocate
Yeah.
your energy and effort.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But do the work and stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Think about what it is you want, you, not what your friends say. Girl, if I was you, bump your friends. And I'm talking about the old ladies out here talking like this. It's not just young girls. And you know, I
Yeah.
told you my audience 45 to 60. We're so I'm not talking about young girls that I see doing this, which is why I said we need to talk about this tonight. No, you got gray hairs on your private parts and two, three grandkids and talking crazy. Stop it. Stop it right now. Okay.
Woo.
So, what is a provider? Somebody who is ready, prepares, looks to the future, and you don't have to guess about his intentions. You
That's
won't
true.
have to guess about his
Yeah.
intentions, but it's way more than money. Way more than money.
That's a fact.
I will have a gentleman come on and talk to me about this, since you all might not believe what me and Sexy with Tim's they killing me in the chat. I love you all. But I'm gonna have a gentleman come. You know, I alwaay like to have different
Now
points of view.
listen.
But
Did
I
somebody
love what?
say? Did somebody say Timberlands? Hold on
Yeah,
now.
you know, Venus is messing with you because you that's
Woo!
Venus that said that. Sexy with the
Listen,
Tims, but Tony,
Venus.
that's Saint. Okay, what that Saint?
Woo!
Oh, somebody did they held the meeting. They held the message. That's why you didn't see it. Facebook, I mean not Facebook, YouTube blocked. Because
Oh
she
my
said,
God.
because she said sexy. Anyway, we know what it means.
We
Thank you
know.
all for your
Yeah.
time and attention. We won't be here next week. I think we're gonna do every other week during the summer. But we're talking about in-laws. We're talking about in-laws as outlaws when we come back together
Oh boy, that's gonna be
two
good.
weeks from now. And Tony's probably gonna join us again one more time for the summer. And then I can't say who the male guest is, who's gonna come on and talk about this provider thing because he was fussing about it on the internet today. But I love you all. You know, you can find me on Facebook on the Couch with Dr. Kim, Instagram on the Couch with Dr. Kim. Love and life according to Dr. Kim. If you're a lady and you want to join the group that talks about love and relationships 24/7. And otherwise, I will see you same bad time, same bad channel, 2 Fridays from now. Love you. Thanks, Tony.
You're welcome.
All right. Good
Bye,
night,
everybody.
everybody. Good night.